Happy November, I guess. We're waiting for it to get cold here in Alabama, but at least I can dress appropriately and film outside for this review of Top Sensation. Yes, we're going to be talking about Top Sensation because it's not streaming anywhere, I don't think, at this moment. And it's just been kind of hard to find. It's hard to get your hands on. I think a lot of us are interested in the film because of its cast, yet many of us haven't seen it. So I'm going to take one for the team today and review it for you. I've now seen it 3 times and we're going to talk about Top Sensation. This film was released in 1969 and it's also known as The Seducers, which The Seducers kind of makes more sense, but I really like Top Sensation because I just think it's a really fun title. This video won't have many spoilers. I'm going to talk about some of the things that happen up until the climax, but I'm not going to talk about the climax or the ending, okay? I specifically designed this video for those of you who have not been able to see it. I swear at one point I was like watching it on YouTube all in Italian with no subtitles, just because I really wanted to see it. But hopefully this video will help you out if you haven't been able to see it. This movie was directed by Ottavio Alessi, and apparently he didn't do very much directing, but he did do a lot more writing. So he also wrote Emmanuel in Bangkok and Emmanuel in America. And now let's talk about the cast. The cast is the real pull here for this movie. We have Rosalba Neri, our queen, as Paola. We have Edwige Fenech as Ula. So we got these 2 queens right here side by side for this movie. We'll talk more about that later. We also have Maurizio Bonuglia as Aldo. We have seen him in The Eye of the Hurricane, we have seen him in The Perfume of the Lady in Black, and The Fifth Chord. He's actually kind of grown on me at this point. We have Maud de Bellaroche as Moody. And apparently she's not an actor, she is a writer, like a novelist, I think, but she does really well in this film. And then we have Ruggero Amiti as Tony, and Salvatore Puntillo as Andro. We have seen Andro in Deep Red, What Have They Done to Your Daughters, and The Psychic. And then we have Eva Thulin as Beba, which I love the name Beba. I think that is so cute. So Eva Thulin is Swedish and she's really, really pretty. And I'm like, she's got to be a huge movie star and other things, right? But she hasn't really been in that much. And I didn't go down a rabbit hole like trying to look into her and, you know, what she's been up to. But she hasn't done a lot of acting. So I'm curious though, if you know anything about her, let a ho know down below. So here is the synopsis of the film. 5 wealthy people are out for a carefree day on their yacht. When their yacht gets caught near an island, they soon meet its 2 inhabitants and immediately make them pawns in their sinister plans. Okay, so I think I'm gonna call this a double duty movie. This is a double duty movie in that we have 2 queens with primary roles here. We have, again, Edwige Fenech and Rosalba Neri right there together. And there are very few films that do this, at least that I've seen so far. Like, there's one where we have Barbara Boucher and Edwige Fenech together in The Wife on Vacation, The Lover in Town, which is really cool, but I don't think they're like actually in scenes together. So that's a little different. Of course, we also have A Muck, where we have Barbara Boucher and Rosalba Neri together, if you get what I'm saying. And another film that came to mind is Forbidden Photos of a Lady Above Suspicion, where we have Dagmar Lasseter and Nieves Navarro together as besties. But these double duty films have a lot of extra draw because it's really cool to see the queens on screen together. And I feel like this cast is probably why people are interested in this film at all. That and the fact that this is a bikini movie, you know? This is a swimsuit movie. Okay, I forgot to show you the copy that I have. I have this Shameless DVD And the beginning of it, when you play the movie, they talk about how they had to piece it together because it was stored in really bad conditions, and they had to do their best to piece it together and to make it the quality as consistent as possible and everything. But I did notice, I don't know when they did this, 2016 it looks like. The picture quality isn't that great and the audio quality is pretty bad, but you know, I'm really glad that this exists. Now, I don't know if it's had another restoration since then or if it will get one or anything like that, so let me know if you know anything. Anyway, all that to say that there is an interview with Rosalba there's a featurette that has an interview with Rosalba, and she talked a little bit about Edwige. I don't know if this was Edwige's first movie, but it was one of her first movies. And Rosalba was talking about how like Edwige had just come on the scene. Everyone was like obsessed with her because she was so gorgeous. And Rosalba said that she wasn't like jealous of her or anything like that. Like there wasn't that weird girl hate situation, because she was like, well, because we were very different. We look very different. She was just saying like they're two very different types. So there wasn't this like competition between the two of them. And I thought that was a very insightful. And I think that's how we look at our queens, is that it's not really this comparison. It's just like, you know, she's Rosalba, she's Edwige. Like they're not the same in any way. And I thought that was, I don't know, I just thought that was really cool. So what is the genre of this film? It gets lumped in with Giallo a lot. And I would say that if you like Giallo, this isn't going to seem totally foreign for you. I mean, it's foreign, but you get what I'm saying. It's not going to seem like totally random for you. It kind of fits in. If you know how to watch Italian cinema, you get it. If you know how to watch Giallo, you pretty much understand how to watch Italian cinema. I guess the best way to describe this film is like, it's like a sexploitation thriller, but it has weird tones throughout. We'll get more into that later. But like the Giallo in Terabang, this film is about a boat full of awful people. And it's actually like, I guess you could call this a one location film, because most of it's happening on the boat and on the ocean. So we love that. What are they up to on this boat? Okay, so who we've got here? We have a husband and wife, Aldo and Paola. We have a mother and son, that's Moody and Tony. And then we have Edwige. She is a prostitute. So the adults all kind of know each other because they're like trying to do business together. The son, Tony, has a disability. They don't go into it, but they describe it as he has the mind of a child. So they have hired Ula, Edwige, the prostitute. They have hired Ula to be intimate with Tony because they think that might cure him of his condition. So that's why they're all out on this boat today. The characters in this film engage in nonstop reckless behavior. So the film has this chaos about it. And I guess it says a lot about my personality too. When I don't like to see people acting crazy or making messes or being irresponsible on film, it adds more stress to it for me. So they were very reckless. Like one of the first scenes in the movie, they are lighting dynamite sticks and throwing them into the ocean and like watching the explosion. They're shooting guns. They're killing animals. It's not real though. They're setting things on fire. Everyone's sleeping with everyone. Yeah, and they're just getting people drunk and trying to get them to this state in which they can easily be seduced. What are you doing? Like I said, everyone on this boat is awful. These characters are awful people. So it does, I don't know, in one way that's kind of fun, but in another way you're not really like rooting for anybody or empathizing with anyone. Moody, the mom, is a total bitch. And then Paola, okay. So you know the kinds of characters that Rosalba plays? You're getting more of that, okay? Just mean-hearted, will laugh in your face. That kind of lady. And Edwige, her character here is a bit more comedic and I like it. It's funny because she's a little like goofier. I guess she's like playing an airhead or whatever. Someone who's a little less worried than other characters we may see her play in Giallo. And then Tony's character is very interesting. He's the one with the mind of a child. He's very unpredictable and unrelatable. So you see him, you can't predict his actions, you can't predict his movements. He's just behaving very bizarrely and in a really like volatile way. So he could make a very dangerous decision. And everybody on this boat is just manipulative. Scary, manipulative, fake, nice, very overbearing, very pushy, just like Mean Girls vibes, but to a dangerous degree. Okay, so their yacht gets stuck near an island. So Tony goes, he's like had enough of these people, so he just goes onto the island himself. And then also Paola and Aldo get on the island themselves. Like everyone's kind of doing their own things at times, and the story sort of cuts between different party members. Anyway, so Tony meets the local resident of the island. Her name is Beba. She is like a young, beautiful peasant girl, and she has blonde hair. And the way the camera like pans over the entirety of her hair, like from Tony's point of view, makes me think that maybe Tony needs a blonde. And then meanwhile, it wasn't Aldo and Paola that come onto the island. It's Aldo and Ula. So they're on the island, and then they meet a goat. Now there are two scenes in this movie that make it famous. And the goat scene is one of them. Have you heard of the goat scene? Has everyone heard of the goat scene? I don't know. So Edwige sits down because she is tired. And then the goat comes up to her and she's like, oh my gosh, he likes me. And then he starts like licking her. And then Aldo he's a photographer, right? Like all of these creepy men are in these movies. So he starts taking all these pictures and he's like encouraging her to get undressed. And then the goat gives her a licking treatment. And Ula really enjoys it. And pictures are being taken the whole time. And this is quite perplexing. I don't know why it was written, and I don't know if it was supposed to be funny or disturbing or sexy. I really hope my neighbors can't hear me. Okay, anyway. So, Ula and Aldo find Beba and Tony, and they're like, Beba, she's our babe. She needs to come onto the boat with us, because she and Tony, this might be what cures him, right? If he can get with Beba. So they like force her onto the boat, right? And she's like, no, like I really should get back. And they're like, no, you should stay. You should stay. Have a drink. Isn't this boat so nice? Like they're so manipulative. It's scary. And they like start giving her alcohol, and she ends up jumping in the water and freeing the boat. So then her clothes are all wet, right? So then Ula and Paola, Edwige and Rosalba, are like, come downstairs. We gotta get you out of these wet clothes. Now, remember when I said there are two famous scenes in this movie? One of them is the goat, and then the other one is Rosalba plus Edwige plus Eva intermingling with each other, okay? If you catch my drift. This is one of those scenes that apparently was heavily cut and heavily edited, and Shameless did their best to stitch it back together, so you see a lot of variation in quality, but you definitely see what's happening, okay? And this is the 60s, but it's pretty sleazy. I would say it would have been more fun if Beba wanted it, but she didn't. She's uncomfortable, so it's not fun. It's just kind of like, you know? So, Beba has a husband. His name is Andro. Beba and Andro live on this island, just the two of them. Anyway, Andro ends up coming to the boat Can you see my cat? Andro ends up coming onto the boat, and everyone's like trying to stall him because they want to put Beba with Tony, and they don't want Andro involved, naturally. So they stall him up top. So they start seducing him on the top of the boat while they put Beba in the room with Tony at the bottom of the boat. They will stop at nothing to get Tony laid. At what point is it too much effort? Before that can happen, Andro and Beba find each other. Andro is pissed that Beba has makeup on, and he starts threatening to kill her, and then Beba starts threatening to kill him. And this moment also, it makes you realize, like, they're not good people either. None of these people are good or likable people. Everyone's a shithead in this movie. And that's where I'll stop with the story, okay? Maybe if y'all need a spoilers section or something like that, maybe we'll do that at another time. There are a few other things I want to talk about in this movie. One of them being the music. The music, the score of this film is very important to me. Honestly, that's one of the main things that appeal to me about this movie. I listen to the soundtrack all the time, and that's what finally drove me to buy this. It's just like the perfect sunbathing soundtrack, or like beachy sound. It's really good, okay? And I feel like when you're watching the movie, the music doesn't play a very big role, or like they're not playing the best parts of the soundtrack in the movie. But if you go and like listen to it on Spotify, the sexiness of this movie, it's pretty sexy. And I know, like, 1968 is that turning point, right? And they were already going hard here in 1969. I appreciate it, even though, like I said, a lot of it is kind of icky. Because we have like bestiality, we have some like incesty things, and then we have like unconsenting people being forced to participate in things. So it's not all feel good. It's kind of I wanted to discuss the visuals and the tone of this film. The film it's not necessarily stylish, although there are some beautiful shots. It's not necessarily stylish, but the setting is lovely, you know, suntans, swimsuits, sunshine, waves, a yacht. Like, it has this sunny and cheerful vibe. Rosalba has this red wet look bikini that the technology seems superior. Like, how come I don't see any bikinis that look that nice now? We get like outfit changes throughout the movie, so you get to see great swimsuits and great fashions. This movie, oh, the sun's moving. Hold on, let me move this a little bit. There, we gotta get out of the sun. This movie has a strange lightheartedness, cheerfulness to it, yet a lot of what we're dealing with is very, very dark and disturbing subject matter. So it has this strange dissonance. Is that the word? And now I gotta talk about my overall thoughts. I think overall the film is not that good. I think that's what I would say. Yet there's certain things about it that just keep you wanting it. The setting is beautiful. Of course, we have the cast. How many times do I need to say that? And the music. And really just the fact that it's kind of a hard to find and under-discussed sort of movie. It has that like rarity factor, I think, that makes it feel like more of a treasure. It's bizarre and kind of weird. It's like sometimes you're like, what was the point of this? But maybe the point is just to see Rosalba and Edwige in intimate entanglements and in various swimsuits. I don't really know why I gave it 4 stars on Letterboxd when I first watched it, because it's not really a 4-star movie. But I think that this is one of those films, like many of them, that it's not like You don't like it just by itself. You like it as part of a wider genre, you know, as part of a Edwige's filmography or Rosalba's filmography. It's like a flower in a bouquet. And those are my thoughts on Top Sensation 1969. If you have seen it, I'd love to know what you think. And if you haven't, do you still want to or do you not want to? Let's discuss. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao.